Plants are alive and cunning. There are plants that have come up with ingenious defense mechanisms over their evolution to keep leaf predators at bay. Animals that eat plants may seem sweet, but ask the plants they pick apart and munch on. Unfortunately for humans, as plant lovers, many of these chemical defenses cause painful reactions to our skin. Of all the plants that can blister and rash us, which are the most poisonous? First up, manchineel. To give you a clear idea of this plant's no-nonsense manner, the Spanish name is little apple of death. The leaves and fruit of the plant resemble those of an apple, and may even be referred to as a beach apple by some. Why people call this poisonous fruit is beyond us. You'll find these plants in Florida, where it's native, the Caribbean, and parts of Central and South America. The plant and its fruit contain a number of toxins. Eating the fruit will definitely cause blistering in your mouth and esophagus, and in some cases can kill. The leaves and bark secrete a milky sap that contains a chemical called Forbol, which is a major irritant to human skin and causes very bad reactions. Standing underneath the plants on a rainy day may not be such a good idea. Raindrops may collect Forbol, and the dripping rain may cause burning to the folks standing underneath. Talk about unpleasant things. You want to be dry and comfortable, and a little drop of rain comes for you with a deadly vengeance. No thanks. And if you recognize it, stay away. Even touching the plant can cause our skin to blister and burn. You're probably thinking, okay, easy, I'm never going to Florida or any of these other places. That's final, but just be careful and you'll be okay. Here's a fun fact about manchineel. Native people have been using the sap to poison their arrowheads for centuries, and it's even thought that the explorer Ponce de Leon was killed by such a weapon. Yikes. The next plant up has a really fun name, and it works as the perfect warning as well. Tread softly. Okay, so this one has a foreboding name. Sadly, that's probably the gentlest name the plant has received over the years. It's also known by the horrifying, ominous names of noseburn and finger rot. How charming. Adding to the issues of this pretty little plant is exactly that. It's a nice looking plant. If you're ever out and on the hunt for some tread softly, first off, don't. Go home. But if you are, you'll find it in its native habitat, the southwestern United States of America. The plant and its flowers and its fruit are covered in viscous, mean little stinging hairs that will break off in the skin and release awful irritant compounds. Ouch! Contact with this plant usually means you're in store for intense itching and stinging. The flip side, if there is one, is that symptoms may only last for an hour. However, some people may have discolored skin for several days after coming in contact with finger rot. Such a terrible name. So, if you're anywhere that's known to house tread softly, do not, I repeat, do not go around barefoot. Apparently, deadly plants have fun names. Sometimes. But whatever you do, don't let these cute little names fool you. Next up sounds fun. It is not. And now, Gimpy Gimpy. Everyone has heard of nettles. The nettle is a big happy family, and all of them sting and itch like merry friends. However, none are as aggressive as the Gimpy Gimpy. This is one of 6 stinging trees native to Australia. Something from nature that is terrifying in Australia. Shocking. The plant is also commonly found in Indonesia. Let's just come out and say it. The Gimpy Gimpy is one of the most dangerous plants in the entire world. There. Felt good to get out there. The stinging leaves cause an almost immediate allergic reaction in its, yes, we must say it, victims. Being stung by a Gimpy Gimpy may cause some unfortunate souls to go into anaphylactic shock. The sting may cause excruciating, even debilitating pain for months. This is terrifying. Victims of the Gimpy Gimpy have described it as a feeling as if they're being electrocuted, burned by acid, or even being squeezed tightly by giant, strong hands. Some people who've come in contact with the dangerous plant have said they deal with flare-ups for many years. There have been numerous accounts of horses going crazy with the pain caused by the plant, jumping off cliffs to put an end to the agony. That's crazy. Crazy truth about the Gimpy Gimpy. Scientists and foresters who work anywhere near the tree must wear thick, specialized protective clothing and respirators just in case. You never know. It's best to be prepared. We mentioned that some dangerous and poisonous plants have cute names. That's not always true. Just look at our next plant. Now, we have the pain bush. Sounds like something out of a horror movie. I can imagine Hellraiser introducing a pain bush. Not fun, no thank you, Pinhead. The pain bush is also known as African poison ivy. The plant is native to southern parts of Africa, and believe us when we say it lives up to its name. The plant is recognized as a shrub or small tree. The pain bush excretes a creamy sap that's plump with chemicals known as, get ready, heptadecyl catechol. That's a mouthful. The sap turns black when it dries, which is intimidating to think about. Can you imagine coming across a little shrub oozing with dry black pus? I don't want to think about it. The sap causes an intense swollen rash with blisters. However, sometimes people are immune. The symptoms will usually subside after a few days. Those few days will be unpleasant, but they will end. Next is hogweed. Hogweed. Sounds like a villain in the Dukes of Hazzard. The bad guy is trying to take over the town. But no, it's just a poisonous plant. No big deal. Oh wait, it's a big deal. There are two species of hogweed, the giant hogweed and the common hogweed. The plants are native to Europe, but they have naturalized to parts of the United States. The leaves and the sap of this weedy wildflower contain chemicals, another hard one, furocoumarins, and should be avoided. Duh. Contact can cause some nasty results. The skin may erupt in severe blisters when exposed to sunlight. Yikes. Don't let it get near your eyes. The sap may cause blindness if it makes contact with the eyes. There's a classic rule of thumb. Avoid all the tall carrot-looking plants with white flower clusters. This is because the hogweed looks eerily similar to the deadly poisonous water hemlocks. Beware. And now, wolfsbane, aka monkshood. This is a chicken or egg type situation. Some say that it was called monkshood first, while some claim wolfsbane. Either way, it goes by leopard's bane too, and mousebone. Instead of a species, like most of these types of deadly buggers, monkshood is a whole genus. And guess what? Almost all of this genus is highly poisonous. And even so, with all that said, these plants are highly sought after because of their beauty. Think of a femme fatale from a classic crime noir film. You want it because it's beautiful, but it is deadly. The flowers are tall and violet blue, which is why they're prized by gardeners and florists alike. The toxin derived from these plants is called aconite. All over the world, arrow points have been soaked in this poison for hunting animals like bears and ibex. Unfortunately, the plants have also been used in awful human medical trials throughout history. In 1594, Pope Clement VII is said to have intentionally given aconite to two condemned prisoners as a way of testing whether it worked and what it did when given the potential antidote. One prisoner was given the antidote and survived. He was rewarded with a life sentence instead of death. Winner! The other prisoner, however, died a grueling and agonizing death. You win some and you lose some, I suppose. Up next, oleander. Oleander is known as a gorgeous flower. The striking flower has been captured by famed artists and photographers for years. The bad news is that the pretty pink flower is highly poisonous. In fact, it's been described as packed with poison. Poisoning from oleander is rare, as opposed to other dangerous plants and flowers, due to its bitter taste. It's gross, so usually nobody is silly enough to eat it. Just like another pretty little danger, the lily of the valley, oleander contains cardiac glycosides. Oleander exists in human records going far into our history. It's been cultivated as far back as Pliny the Elder, who wrote about the beautiful flower in his famous work Naturalis Historia in AD 77. So, just a little bit ago, in that work, Pliny wrote about the poisonous properties of oleander. Not so fun fact, in Pliny the Elder's Naturalis Historia, he spoke about it being useful as a snakebite antidote, but really, it would have just killed you quicker. Oleander and snakes don't mix. Let's talk about the most famous of all the itchy plants. Everyone knows this one, and some of us might even have had encounters with it. Lastly, poison ivy. First thing we must mention, this is not the Batman villain from that terrible Batman movie from the 90s. Okay, that's out of the way. Anyone who's ever been on a walk in the woods was probably warned by a parent or guardian to watch out for poison ivy. Keep your eyes peeled for its nefarious leaves of three. And we've also been warned of its tricky relatives, poison oak and poison sumac. All three contain the chemical known as urushiol. The plant is a really wily bugger. When it's touched, pretty much the entire thing can trigger severe inflammation, which is painful and itchy. What makes the chemical in poison ivy so much worse than some others is that it may stick onto and hang out on your clothes and shoes, even tools or your pets. This may lead to poisoning a victim later when they least expect it. Not cool. If you go hiking in the underbrush and fear you may have crossed paths with poison ivy, be sure to use caution when removing clothing, making sure to not touch any of the outsides with your skin. Then, wash your clothes immediately, or risk poison ivy. It's up to you. The symptoms are annoying too. The rash may last only a few days or a week, or even several weeks. Try not to itch a crazy itchy itch for 3 weeks. No thank you. But the good news is, it's very unlikely poison ivy will require medical attention. I hope that prepares you for your next outing into nature. Nature is beautiful, but it can be deadly. Take caution. If we missed any fun plants, please leave a comment down below. We'll be back soon with more videos to keep you informed and entertained. Until then, hit the like and subscribe buttons. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. Take care.